Hello everyone, my name is Rishabh Jain and I'm from RQ Productions. Today we'll be doing a QuizBowl packet read-through from the set 2018 Scop MS9. If you're new to this channel, our channel is all about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. QuizBowl, in fact, takes a combination of all of those. Consider subscribing and check out this playlist right here in the top right for more QuizBowl preparation, study questions, and guides. Without further ado, let's get into this packet reading. Tossup, a choral piece by this composer, has been played at every English coronation since 1727. This composer wrote a piece with sections such as La Paix to celebrate the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Another of this man's works was premiered for King George I on the Thames River. For 10 points, name this composer of music for the Royal Fireworks and Water Music as well as Messiah. Answer there, George Friedrich Handel. 2. An author from this country wrote a short story that gives conflicting perspectives on a murder titled In a Grove. This country was the home of the author of Confessions of a Mask, who committed seppuku during an attempted coup, and of the short story author Ryunosuke Akutagawa. For 10 points, name this home country of Yukio Mishima. Answer, Japan. Please note, after this question, the questions that appear on the screen will actually disappear. With our new format, here's 3. The final member of a species from this location, Lonesome George, died in 2012. The most northerly species of penguin is found in this location, as are blue-footed dubies and marine iguanas. This region's variety of food sources produce beaks that specialize in insect catching and seed crushing in its native birds. For 10 points, name this equatorial location where Charles Darwin observed finches, leading to the theory of natural selection. Answer, Galapagos Islands. Tossup 4. After fighting back a Spanish army, this man was declared the hero of Tampico. This man formed the plan of Casamata with Guadalupe Victoria to overthrow Agustin Iturbide. This man was exiled to Staten Island, and his wooden leg was paraded around the US. The Gadsden Purchase was given to America by, for 10 points, what Mexican president who led the attack on the Alamo? Answer, Santa Anna. Tossup 5. Members of this religion honor children at ages 3, 5, and 7 on a November 15th holiday that includes handing out 1,000-year candy. Shrine maidens in this religion wear a red and white outfit and are called Miko. This religion's Ise temple complex is rebuilt every 20 years and may house its country's sacred mirror. Amaterasu is one of the kami worshipped in, for 10 points, what traditional Japanese religion? Answer, Shinto or Shintoism. Tossup 6. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech opens with a reference to this policy, which had been signed 50 years ago. This policy said a class of people should labor faithfully for reasonable wages. Although this policy was announced 5 days after the Battle of Antietam, it did not take effect until January 1, 1863. Only rebellious territory was affected by, for 10 points, what act by President Lincoln that freed American slaves? Answer, Emancipation Proclamation. Tossup 7. The first enemy in this game can enter Cruise Alroy mode, in which he speeds up and refuses to scatter. This game's maximum score of 3,333,360 can only be reached after the computer fails to draw dozens of keys in the level counter instead of overriding the right half of the map with an impassable kill screen. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde are ghosts that chase the player in, for 10 points, what classic arcade game in which pellets are eaten by a yellow circle? Answer, Pac-Man. Tossup 8. This novel's protagonist is kidnapped by Saleh pirates and after escaping the slavery, sells his friend Zuri as a slave. In this novel, a sailor living near the Orinoco River on the island of Despair rescues a man from a group of cannibals, converts him to Christianity, and names him Friday. For 10 points, name this novel about a man who spends 28 years on an island after being shipwrecked, written by Daniel Defoe. Answer: Robinson Crusoe. Tossup 9. Aristarchus of Samos is one of the first known proponent of this idea, which had early success explaining apparent retrograde motion. This idea opposed the long-standing Ptolemaic model and was improved by the discovery of elliptical orbits. Because he defended this theory, Galileo was tried by the Inquisition. For 10 points, name this theory by Copernicus that says the planets travel around a nearby star rather than around the Earth. Answer: heliocentric theory, also known as heliocentrism. It also accepts the Sun as the center of the solar system or universe, or any description similar to that. Tossup 10. This mountain range lies above the world's largest rail tunnel, the Gotthard Tunnel, which opened in 2016. This range's Julian subrange reaches into Slovenia. The St. Bernard Pass cuts through this mountain range in a ridge between Monte Rosa and Mont Blanc, its two highest peaks. The Matterhorn is, for 10 points, what European mountain range that is primarily in France, Italy, and Switzerland? Answer: the Alps. Tossup 11. This country was led by the Lion of Midnight in its victory at the Battle of Breitenfeld. This country, which fought on the Protestant side of the 30 Years' War, was crushed at Poltava by Russia to lose the Great Northern War. Gustavus Adolphus was a general for this country whose King Charles XII invaded Norway in 1716. For 10 points, name the Scandinavian country whose king still reigns from Stockholm. Answer: Sweden. Tossup 12. A scientist from this country discovered the neutron and headed this country's phase of the Manhattan Project, codenamed Tube Alloys. Both the Crookes radiometer and Newcomen steam engine were invented in this country, where the law of the spring was stated by Robert Hooke, a curator of its Royal Society. For 10 points, name this country where Sir Isaac Newton wrote the law of gravity. Answer: England. Tossup 13. This artist depicted a white skyscraper between two black skyscrapers in city night and painted a nighttime view of the Radiator building. This artist's massive mural, Sky Above Clouds, was created at Ghost Ranch in New Mexico. Morning Glories and Jack in the Pulpits are among the common subjects painted by, for 10 points, what American artist known for her close-up paintings of flowers? Georgia Totto O'Keeffe or Keefe. Tossup 14. When performing this operation on an integer with n digits, the result will have either 2n digits or 2n minus 1 digits. When an integer has this operation done to it, its one digit cannot be 2, 3, 7, or 8. Negative numbers cannot be the result when this operation is done to a real number, but doing this to I gives negative 1. For 10 points, name this operation that is written using an exponent of 2. Answer: square. Tossup 15. 3 years after this Supreme Court case was decided, Henry Hyde sponsored an amendment restricting federal funding of its subject. Sarah Weddington represented the plaintiff in this case, who used an alias to avoid publicity. The balancing test in question in this case between governmental interests and a right to privacy was decided using a 3-trimester framework. For 10 points, name this landmark Supreme Court case that legalized abortion. Answer: Roe versus Wade. In a novel by this author, Shreve listens to a story about the life of Thomas Sutpen. This man's novel, A Blossom, is partly narrated by a Harvard student named Quentin Compson, who commits suicide in another novel by this man. Addie Bundren's body is carried to Jefferson, Mississippi in another novel by this author. For 10 points, name this American author of As I Lie Dying and The Sound and the Fury. Answer: William Faulkner. Tossup 17. The KAAP version of this process uses a ruthenium catalyst. A blockade on sodium nitrate imports during World War I forced Germany to develop this process, which operates under conditions in excess of 400 degrees Celsius and 200 atmospheres. Most of the world's synthetic fertilizer is made via, for 10 points, what industrial process that combines hydrogen and nitrogen gases to make ammonia? Answer: Haber-Bosch process. Tossup 18. This philosopher described love, hatred, and 4 other basic passions and as passions of the soul. This 17th century thinker developed analytic geometry, which uses formulas, coordinates, and computations to study geometry, especially in the coordinate plane named for him. For 10 points, name this French mathematician and philosopher whose discourse on the method includes the statement, "I think, therefore I am." Answer: René Descartes. Tossup 19. This man hid in the court of Lycomedes, where he became the father of Neoptolemus. This man killed Penthesilea during a truce with Priam to allow for a funeral. After his death, the remains of this warrior were mixed with those of Patroclus. This man's mother, Thetis, dipped him in the river Styx, which made most of his body invulnerable. Paris killed, for 10 points, what enemy of Hector, a Greek warrior with a weak heel? Answer there: Achilles. Tossup 20. A journal in this novel concerns the Demeter, a ship whose crew is hunted by a wolf-like creature. Arthur Holmwood, John Seward, and Quincy Morris provide transfusions to Lucy Westenra in this novel, and a sacrament wafer burns Mina Murray after she is bitten by the title character. Jonathan Harker recruits Van Helsing to help him defeat the title character in, for 10 points, what Bram Stoker Gothic novel about a vampire? Answer there: Dracula. Hey viewer, thanks so much for sticking with us the entire video. We really appreciate your support. Check out our entire playlist with QuizBowl preparations, study guides, and more. Excuse me for any mispronunciations during this video, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You can learn a lot about QuizBowl by watching our videos. See you next time.